Okay guys, what are we doing today? Well, after about 5.5 years of living in the RV full time, it is time to finally get the tanks professionally cleaned. That's why we got these guys here today. We're gonna get the black tanks and gray tanks really cleaned up, see what kind of nastiness is going on inside of there. So let's go check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to Why Wait. Today we are doing a much needed tank cleaning on the black tanks and both of our gray tanks. Now, this RV that we have, this Grand Design Solitude, is coming up on 8 years old, and we've been full-time living in it for almost 6. So it's pretty important now to get the tanks professionally cleaned. As much as we take care of them, as much as we try to flush them and things like that, there's still going to be buildup in them. There's still going to be like toilet paper dried up on the walls and other stuff. And we even have some issues with our black tank handle right now, and we want to see if we can get that taken care of. But this may not be something that is as important if you don't full-time RV, if you're just taking the camper out once in a while, as long as you're flushing it really good after use. But if you full-time RV like us, it's definitely something you should probably get done every other year. It's not a very difficult process, and it's not too time-consuming, and there's plenty of people out there across the country who can do this, from the Clean Tank, which you've probably seen, in various other companies. They travel a lot of times to these rallies or special events, and I'm sure you can find one in your area. Today we have James with us. He's going to take care of our tanks and get them all nice and clean. And we're going to see what kind of nasty stuff has been building up in there over the years. And let's go ahead and jump over to the other side of the camper and see what's going on. So we got James with us here today from Luna Mobile RV Tech, and he also does tank cleaning, and he also even does driving school, if you're interested in that. But we are in the North Georgia area, north of Atlanta. He's got about a 2-hour radius, so if you guys are ever like up in the North Georgia area, pretty much anywhere through there, you can probably contact him, get your tanks cleaned, RV Tech, driving school, all that stuff, so it's pretty cool. You're putting water up in there right now?
Well, basically this jetter only runs up to 1500 psi. Okay. So it's not high pressure like a pressure washer, because people will say, well, why don't you, I could just use a pressure washer. Well, you could, but you'd have to be able to scale that power back, and that's hard to do because this has a controller on it, so I can change the pressure setting. Yeah. I usually keep it on the higher end because it doesn't go over 15, and it won't damage your pipes or damage the tank or anything, because a high pressure washer could damage.
That would make sense. I would imagine it could, yeah.
And then you need a lot smaller hose to get into, you know, your RV
sneak
tanks.
all the way up in there, yeah.
And it's very similar to what a plumber would use in plumbing companies to jet out tanks or jet out like lines in the house and stuff like that. But they use a little bit bigger hose sometimes, and their hoses are way longer. These are a lot shorter, more manageable. And this being commercial, it should last longer. Okay. You know, so it had to make the turn. Once it flips around and makes the turn, then it has to flip and make the next turn, and then it goes to the path of least resistance. Okay. So you'll see, and you can already tell and I can tell when I get in a tank because I can see stuff coming out.
I mean, yeah, we're talking 5.5 years of living in this, and
you're experienced, so
we maintain it well for sure.
Probably take care of it and keep it closed all the time.
Always keep it closed. We always use tons of water. But
I think that's people's biggest problem, is they don't use enough water. Because it's not like a standard toilet. It doesn't have a tank on it, so they just push it in the pedal and it just goes down, and they don't think anything about it. But you really want to use a lot more water. I know it's counterintuitive when you're trying to RV, but unless you're dry camping, I use all the water you can get.
That's our biggest key. That's what we tell everybody. Even after we do like a number 2, I fill the toilet bowl all the way back up again and flush it again, if not twice. Yeah.
And then I find too, people are like, they don't realize that they need to set their tank. You know, put 3, depending on the size of your tank, put 3, 4, 5 gallons in it, at the beginning, right after you empty it, flush it out,
Yeah.
get you a little meter, you know, and just put 3 or 4 or 5 gallons in there to set your tank with your chemicals so that you already have something in there.
That's what we do for sure.
Start getting that
There we go.
stuff loosened up. It'll get caught in the corners of the tank.
And just to step away for a second so you guys can hear me better, as you heard, he recommends using plenty of water. Water, water, water. And that's the same thing that the unique RV Digest company recommends as well. That's the chemicals that we've been using in our tank for a long time. We have videos. You guys can go check out that if you want to look into the treatment that we use to keep our tanks clean and clog free. They have the RV Digest Plus Ultra Concentrate. That's their latest and greatest product with an easy measure bottle, a couple ounces down in the tank. Just make sure you don't use any like caustic chemicals or bleach or anything like that when you're cleaning your toilet. But their products are super high quality, one of the most like cost-effective products you can get. And we've had no stank, no smell. We don't get any clogs. So I can't recommend the unique products enough. And if you do get a clog, they have plenty of online help that you can call, and they'll be ready to answer any questions you have as far as getting help with what you may need, what kind of treatment you may need to do, because they have plenty of products, not just your basic treatment. They have products to clean and restore your sensors, products to unclog your tanks, and numerous different things you can try out to keep these tanks running smooth and efficient. So if you guys haven't checked them out before, I recommend go ahead and check them out. We'll have links down below to their website, to some of their Amazon products, and we'll also have the link to the video where we've done a few reviews on it after we've been using it for probably about 3 years now. We've been using different unique RV Digest products. So guys, go check them out. That's how we keep our tanks clean. Again, no clogs, no smells after numerous years of living in this thing. Let's go ahead and get back and see what's going on and see what's coming out of this thing.
Yeah, it's like a 2-foot tube straight down and goes that way, and she's not filling it up with water. So she'll just like, might sound gross, but she just pushing the button and letting it drop, and so it's just filling the tube up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, you have to fill that bowl up with water just like at home, because at home, you got a gallon and a half, and it makes that flush. Well, people need to fill that bowl up full. Yep. And let that water go down that tube and flush it out. So I keep telling people to do that, and the idea is to get it nice and clear, but it's only going to be so clear.
Yeah.
But once I stop getting chunks, then I feel good about it.
Yeah, it's funny too, like, because you can tell all this stuff has obviously been, like you said, dry to burn the corners, because after I flush my black tank, I fill it back up. It's still brown. I fill it back up, 30 gallons, flush it again until the water is pretty clear that comes out. And even though I'm sitting there having clear water coming out after flushing my tank a few times, you can see there's all this stuff that still hides in there.
Yeah.
In case somebody's curious, like what do you charge to do like a black tank flush like this?
So the base, right? No major issues.
Yeah.
You do $175 for the first tank.
Gotcha.
And then $75 for each additional. Sometimes there's 2, 3, 4 tanks. You just don't know. And then if you have a clog and it's like clogged and it's not coming out, there are additional charges like for a clog, because you're still doing a full tank cleaning. But now we have to go a step further because we got to get through these clogs. That can take a lot longer. Yeah. And then if you have a clog inside where those tubes fill up, that actually gets a little. I have a thing that I can hook to a hose and go inside and start running, because we don't run these from inside down. Coming down. Well, the main reason is because the jetter all goes backwards. So if you stick it down that tube, guess what? It's all coming back up at you. So I don't wear a suit. I'm not really in the mood for that. Yeah, I don't think nobody wants that in their bathroom either. And it would just be all over the bathroom. That's crazy. So I do have a clog breaker that I can put down there from the inside with a garden hose. Okay. Still got to put towels on the ground because it will get a little wet. But we don't run these the opposite way because it's not really forcing it back out this way. It's going the wrong way. So. Well, there you have it, guys. You can see all the stuff coming out of our black tank. So I'm really glad we got that taken care of. And we can tell there is something going on with the black tank handle. It's not working properly. So stay tuned for that one. We also did the gray tanks today. Not as much coming out of them
there was some, white kind of, greasy kind of buildup that came out of the kitchen gray tank a little bit and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think those were pretty clean. So if you don't want to ever like maybe pay for the whole treatment, I would just definitely recommend getting the black tank professionally cleaned once in a while. Guys, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next time.